Okay guys, welcome to day 4. I'm not showing my face today because it is not a pretty sight. So we're just gonna get straight into, I decided that today we're actually gonna make the rainbow because my tassel is not fully dried yet, so chances are some of yours probably isn't. So we're gonna let that dry for one more full day, and then we'll finish our tassel tomorrow, and then we'll finish our paper tags tomorrow. So today we're gonna finish our rainbow. So what you need to gather is your scissors, your pliers. You need to get your needle that should be in the bag where your tassel stuff was in. Grab that needle, and then grab your rainbow bag, and you're gonna have your this bead, your felt ball, your 2 colored cords, some super glue, and then your rope. Okay, so I'm gonna push everything aside, and right now we're just going to start with this piece. So if you have any, like if any of the ends of your rope is unraveled, okay, I'm just gonna go ahead and do this right now, okay? So let's just say your rope looks like this. Totally okay. Just watch what I do, okay? Don't make it any worse, because this could have just happened just with obviously in transfer coming to you and like shipping and all the things. So this is okay. What we're gonna do is we are going to so we're making like little mini rainbows, and we're only doing 2 arches. So right now I am just going to, this is gonna be the end of my, like right here where the unraveling starts. I can still use this for fringe. So I'm gonna attempt to have this be the end. And so I am just going to eyeball it, and I'm not gonna measure it because honestly, it depends on how much unraveling everyone has. So this can kind of just be a personal preference thing. So just eyeball it and make your shortest arch. And so I'm gonna cut it right about here. So just to give you an idea, this is the short one, and then we've still got a larger piece. So make sure that you're cutting obviously a shorter piece, and then what you have left over should be longer. So then this is what I have. Again, everyone's piece is gonna be different, but just cut 2 pieces, and one should be longer than the other. If you have some unraveling, that's okay. If that distracts you, you can even just like cut some of it off. But at the end of the day, what should happen is you should curve your rainbow and both ends should match up. Okay, so right here, I've got these 2 ends match up, and then I'm gonna make a cut right here, okay? Okay, so here we are. Now I am going to grab my lighter piece of cord, and I'm going to wrap my little piece here. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to lay down the light cord going up the rope. So the rope's going this way, the cord's going this way. I'm laying it directly on top of it, and I'm gonna pin it down with my finger, and I'm up about 1/2 of an inch, and I'm just going to start wrapping around really tightly, around again. And I'm gonna hold this with my thumb, and I'm going to wrap it again all the way super tight until, hold on honey, until that little tail is.
Can I have some cheese?
Can I finish this please, and I'll get you some cheese in a minute?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Can you do some cookies?
Honey, I'll be right back. Go.
Can you do some cookies? I need some cookies.
Oh my gosh, that boy. Okay, so I'm gonna wrap, and this is just because of the thickness of this rope, it's so chunky that it kind of makes it a little bit difficult to really wrap around and wrap it tight as you're going. So I'm just gonna wrap. You just wanna make sure that you're not letting this side unravel as you're using full force to wrap this around as tight as you can. And you'll know what I mean once you're doing it. It's just so thick that it's almost hard to like really grip onto the rope and make it tight, but it's really important to make it as tight as you can. Okay, so I'm here, and even when you like bend it in half, it'll just be like so like thick and tight. Okay, so I'm right here, and I am going to glue it off. I'm not gonna make a knot like I normally do. I am going to put a dab of super glue on the outer corner where I'm stopping, okay? So I'm just going to, and so right here you can see that I'm like leaving this tail. And the reason for that is because when I bend this piece right here, I like that size. I like that size, and I know that my larger one, it's gonna fit perfectly. So really you can eyeball it, and this size, even though it feels really small, it'll make a really cute rainbow. So that's why I'm leaving this much, because I don't really want to wrap any more. So I'm going to take my super glue and I'm going to put a dab on the outside corner. And I'm going to wrap it one more time around that glue. And I'm just going to hold it. Holding it really tight so you can see that's the edge, or eventually I'll cut that off, but the glue is drying. And once it's fully dry, you can cut it. Okay, so you can see it's dry. And I'm just gonna cut it like exactly as close as I can without cutting any other important stuff. I'm gonna snip it right just like that. So eventually, once we do the larger piece and we glue them together, that will be hidden by the other piece here, okay? So I'm just going to take this right here, and you can actually even kind of just bend it in half. This, you can reshape it several times. But I'm just gonna trim this right now. Okay? Okay, so now you can put this aside and grab your larger piece. Okay, now I'm going to pick up the other one, and I am going to trim just like a little bit of this, just a teensy bit off the edge. And I'm gonna take my longer rainbow, and I'm going to, hold on honey, I'm going to start about 1/2 inch up. I'm gonna hold this down with my finger, and I'm going to wrap it, hold on honey. Okay, hold on. I'm gonna wrap it around, see that? I'm wrapping it tightly around so that I'm securing that tail. But I also have no like knot or anything like that because it's now fully secured by that tail that went up, okay? So now I'm just going to wrap all the way around, and every about, I don't know, 2 wraps, I stop and just like really pull it. Wrap twice, stop, and pull tight. Go ask Oscar to open it. Just because the size of this cord is just so chunky that it could really easily get loose as you're wrapping it. So I just go twice around and then just make sure, ask Oscar to open it, please. Sure. Sorry, guys. So just really every couple, I'm just like wrapping around, and then I'm just kind of just checking my work, making sure I'm still holding this tight, holding this, everything just very firmly. Your hand might be a little bit like tired after you get done because that's how like hard and firm I'm like trying to wrap these. Okay, so once I get here, this is the size that I want, and so I've got this much extra, but we're actually going to be using this for something else. So right now, I'm going to, if you've ever taken my rainbow classes before, what I'm about to show you is different than I've ever taught. Just because of the thickness of this, I don't want to make a knot here just because it's so bulky that it'll just stick out. So right now I'm actually, hold on honey, hold on baby. I'm actually going to take my super glue, okay? And careful not to get any on your fingers. But I'm holding all of this right here. I'm not making any kind of a knot. It's still just freshly wrapped around. I'm gonna put a dab of super glue on the inside of the arch. The inside. And I'm going to wrap that around. Again, be careful not to get it on your fingers. And I'm just gonna hold it. And let it dry. And then once it's dry, I'm going to clip it off. And then once we glue the smaller arch into this one, you won't be able to see that. And I'm gonna go ahead and trim this little piece like that. Now when you put them together, you can see that this one is a little bit longer. So either I can just take the bigger one and just kind of like pull it down just a little bit. You just want to be careful that you're not gonna like undo the closure. Or you can take this one and you can like pull it up. Because the key here is when you make your rainbow curve, you want them to be, the two ends to be match up pretty evenly. So that's what it's going to look like once we have it glued. Okay? And now I'm going to take any extra that I have of my cord and I'm going to pull it apart. So you should have something that looks like that. And I'm going to tie it or loop it on the top center of the largest hoop, arch. So I'm just going to fold this in half and I'm gonna take the loop and I'm gonna go behind the top and I'm going to pull this through the loop like that. And you want to just really make sure that that is dead center on the top of that arch. And then I'm going to just tighten it. So I just pull it back and pull it forward and just really tighten it. And the other key is that you want like this part of that loop to be like directly centered on the top so that it hangs evenly. So now we've got our two pieces plus our little hang thing. So the reason why I'm using this is because I liked that it just camouflaged right into the rainbow versus doing a piece of cord like this, which you could also do if for some reason you don't have enough. You could honestly use any kind of string to make that little hang tag or hang part. Okay, so now we're gonna glue our pieces together. So I do recommend everyone getting like some sort of a magazine or an old piece of paper or something that you can put down on your surface so that you don't get any glue on it. I'm gonna skip that step just because I think I already have glue all over this table. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna take your super glue and you're gonna do a line of super glue all the way around the outside of your smallest arch. And you're gonna try to make it as straight of line as possible. And I'm not like clumping it on, but I'm doing, you know, a generous line, but just not too much, but also not too little. You want to have a good amount of glue. And so you've got your line all the way around. And I'm going to line it up with my larger piece, and I'm just going to nest them together. And I'm gonna pinch together that end, and then I'll pinch all the way around, and I'm just gonna hold it here. And I'm gonna keep pinching as I hold it. I'm holding it really tightly with all of my fingers. Pretty much all of my hand strength is being used right now. And like sometimes I'll even just grab it and just hold it like this, because once it's dry and once it's all stuck together, you can really kind of like bend the rainbow back out and curve it. So doing this doesn't necessarily mean you're gonna have some like weird shaped rainbow. And once you feel like it's good and dry, then I'll show you what I mean. You can just kind of bend it out like that. You've got a cute little rainbow. So now we're going to put on our beads and our felt ball. So what you need to do is grab your needle, and we're gonna string this, and this is gonna be kind of a little bit more difficult, but just like when we strung our tassel, we're going to pinch everything together, and you can get it a little bit wet if you need. Cut it, and just take your needle, pinch it, and string it in. This is a little bit harder because this is definitely thick string, okay? So if you're having difficulties, then we're just going to do it in sections, which can be kind of tedious, but it'll work. So I'm just gonna break that off in a section. And I'm going to string that onto the needle. And I'm gonna push that down And I'm going to take that other section I'm going to cut it, and I'm going to string the rest onto the needle. Hold on, honey. Until you have it all. And this is honestly like not gonna be pretty. This is what it's gonna look like. It's gonna look messy and weird, but you really just need to get it that far on. You don't need to pull it any further. As long as it stays there and you really just like have a good handle on that spot, that's all you need, because you're first going to put on your bead, and then we're going to do our felt ball, and you're gonna put it directly down the center as if you're like kind of creating a bead with it. Hold on, honey, almost done. I scared you? I'm sorry, honey. And then you're gonna take your pliers and just very carefully kind of like go back and forth, back and forth, back and forth until it pulls through. Okay?
Okay.
Pull that all the way.
Pull the way.
And then I'm gonna take this string
this
in half, and I'm going to, honey, shh,
going to
make that one knot.
There cannot spaces, no hidden out that I'm not alone.